Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game of the Max and part 13 of our Hearts of Iron 4 Old War Blues Enclave Redux mod. So, in the last episode, a lot of stuff happened. So, we went to war against the Washington Brotherhood. They declared war on one of our puppets over here. We fought them all the way back up, knocked out the Washington Brotherhood. Now we are finishing off the Broken Coast. We have Canada as our dominion, or the Dominion of Canada is part of our faction. They are an enclave, was it protectorate right now, and they're going through their new focus tree that they got, which is kind of like what the Yakuza had. Uh, so that's good for us. Um, the Steam Knights, or whatever these guys were called, are Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate declared war on us. We had to turn around, fight through them. I made a massive mistake trying to capitulate them early by just going for their capital, and I managed to lose a bunch of my power armor divisions under Archdronin Jr., and that was miserable. And then Gentle de Sol has also declared war on us because they are in a faction with Heaven's Gate. So is the Legion of Hades, but they have a truce with us until the 3rd of January of 2083, which will be next year in the game. So they can't actually go to war with us since we have that truce. So I'm hoping to push Gente de Sol back across, beat them. We have our power armor down now with Archdornans Jr. His veterans are down here now. And then our bros declared war on us. A lot of war being declared on us. And we now finally have gotten our main army over here. And we're about to push them back, take them out. Once we knock these guys out, we can actually finally finish the focuses for the Farson Project and United We Stand. So a lot of good things coming for us, that's for sure. Can't promote this node. Not really sure why. I haven't been able to promote, but it's okay. And then, of course, we have a bunch that are disabled. Right now, our troops up here in the north are the Dominion of Canada's. I just took them really quick because I needed to bring my troops south. So hopefully here soon, between us and the Canadians, we can push through these guys and finally get rid of them. Alright. These guys will keep attacking. There's one soldier right here, but I'm not too worried about them, to be honest with you. And then a few of our rest of our units are heading south. But without a further ado, let's kick it on off. Alright, you guys up here in the north. Boom. You guys start pushing. Another Legion landing party has been spotted. Someone told me to do the home defense, and that was supposed to get rid of them. So we might have to do that. And then I still know we have to do the American Juggernaut. So that will be done before we go to war with the Legion for sure. Excellent. I was hoping to catch him in a pincer, but the Commonwealth Project. The president today announced a joint session of Congress. The old Commonwealth system is to be reintroduced and reintegrated into the American society, followed by a rapturous assurance that no one in Congress was losing their job. The new Commonwealth system will be based and built upon the pre-war system with some minor changes to territory as well as pragmatic adjustment to fit within the post-war times. This, however, will change nothing within the executive branch aside swearing in governors of the aforementioned Commonwealths. Rebuild in America, one Commonwealth at a time. We'll make it canon no matter what Bethesda says. Credit to Okir on DeviantArt. Took me forever to find this image. So, thank you. And I think we can only do one right now. And even then, we can't do it since we've lost territory. I also know we need to do this for nukes. We need to finish out Nevada. We need to finish out Navarro. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do. And we can rebuild the northern. Oh, we can do all of these. Okay. Yes, there's a lot of things to do. Well, while I'm talking about it, let's just do Doctrine on how we fight. Start getting that done. Military Assistance Command Canada, in a joint ceremony with members of the Royal Court of Queen Victoria VI and delegates from the United States, the President and Queen unveiled the creation of the United States Military Assistance Command Canada, or MACC. The purpose of this new command is to train and equip the Victorian Dominion of Canada military for combat and stability operations extending further east. While the trainees will be of Canadian descent, much of the equipment will be provided by the United States and its well-developed military-industrial complex. The President urged all loyal Canadians to join for Queen and Dominion. The Queen herself promised a substantial healthcare package as well as a plot of frontier land upon reaching mandatory retirement age. The event ended with each nation's respective military bands playing each other's national anthem, followed by a court dinner at the Royal Palace in New Victoria. Very nice. Alright, we've taken Titus Prime. Still not there to wipe them out. So
why isn't your video feed working?
You're what? A motorized unit?
I see.
Aim for the harbor, please. Do what you have to do.
President's watching us like a hawk.
And I want you.
Everything's always tighter out here at
Come here.
Enclave.
Circle and circle and circle.
This is Enclave Maincom. Yeah, you can say that again. Ah, that's a no one.
Try to take as much land as possible. Come back down here. Your guys can start pushing. We're already driving these guys back pretty fast. More military factories with less equipment to still build stuff, so we should have some planes over here. Yep, got our planes fighting over here. We've got some down in the south.
Why isn't your video feed working?
I want you guys across. Actually do just want, let's see.
Enclave here.
Your two commands. It's gonna get really weird. Have to delete all of these. Alright, your two commands. Control shift over to here. You're gonna be pushing and knocking out Gente de Sol. Your command will be taking all of this as its territory to fight. Fighting all the way down. And then your command, who's still making its way down from the northern campaign, will take up the fight here. And you'll be pushing all the way down. So let's see. You're good, and you're good when you're in position. Perfect. And hopefully the Broken Coast will capitulate relatively soon. Then we need to keep an eye out for this war over here. Your guys don't want pushing.
A few more moments and I'll have your sorry ass in a sling. Ah, that's a no one.
And I'll actually have you all hit Last Stand. Use a lot of my command power.
One moment. Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. This is Enclave Maincom. A few more moments and I'll have your sorry ass in a sling. Enclave here. And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
Get these guys circled. The Great Northern Union, the Victorian Dominion, announced from the Royal Palace in New Victoria that a campaign similar to that seen in the United States and Mexico to reclaim lost territory from would-be raiders, terrorists, or pretenders to the Canadian throne. Queen Victoria VI, however, was adamant that royal envoys would be dispatched to peaceful nations for glorious reunion and everlasting peace among the people of the Great White North. Those who wish to join shall be friends. Those who would oppose will be crushed under the might of the Royal Army. While the Royal Army remains relatively small, U.S. officials agreed to support the northern cause with the full might of the U.S. military to help make up for the shameful annexation of Canradia just prior to the Great War. Soon the skies above our northern navel will unite in song together, or be lit up by more than just the northern lights. The procession ended with a pass and review of the Victorian Royal Guard alongside a detachment of U.S. Marines from the President's security outfit. We will civilize Candradia yet.
Enclave here. Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. That's a new one. Enclave here.
I lost that division. Alright. Been losing a lot of divisions these last few games.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. What was that?
Doesn't help that we need equipment. The Legion marches, the Great Bear is dead. The only sweep from Reformist Legion that remained United States.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
We can retake Eagle Air Force Base.
Who the hell is this? The president? Look.
Doctrine on how we fight. Doctrine tomorrow. It's decided that we're going to have to take back America the hard way, block by block, town by town, city by city, until Old Glory is flying high in the sky once more from sea to shining sea. Of course, how we're going to do that is a matter of debate. The Army has come forward with 3 doctrines of which to choose. Some more reserved proponents say we should adopt a defensive approach, allowing our enemies to throw themselves in impenetrable defenses and allow us to walk over them when all that is left is a pile of dead bodies. They take their method from General Constantine Chase of the Alaska Reclamation. Other more daring members wish to adopt a high-speed offensive maneuverability, striking deep into enemy territory and driving home the true nature of total war, pointing to General Sherman when he broke the back of the Confederacy in the Civil War. Lastly, others wish a more measured approach, bringing the full might of America crushing down on our enemies in a slow, inevitable advance that will see all crushed underfoot, like MacArthur when he drove the Chinese across the Yalu River before detonating an atomic bomb to remind them who they were messing with. What we choose will be our primary doctrine moving forward. I will not make this decision lightly. Gain 50 command power and 150 army experience. You guys want it. You know what we're going to do. Though I despise the man in my entirety, we're going to do the MacArthur Doctrine.
Why isn't your radio feed working? Yeah.
Destroyed this pocket. Trying to get across. Ulysses is wounded. Sorry, Ulysses.
That's a new one. I see.
No, resurgence. Ooh, that was very loud. Lockreed Aeronautics. Hello, America. This is your president speaking. Do you remember airplanes or jet planes? Maybe some remember the sight of vertibirds flying across the skies when the Enclave first returned to America's shores. I'm sure very few do, and I'm sure even fewer know the America was the birthplace of flight. Yes, right here in America, the Wright brothers took their Wright flyer and for the first time succeeded in heavier than air flight. Of course, with the Great War, it was thought those days were long gone. But what if I told you the United States government has sponsored a school in Dayglow at the old Lockreed Aeronautics Advanced Development Center, also known as Skunk Works? Lockreed is accepting anyone with knowledge of mechanical and technical know-how to train the next generation of American flight engineers for free. Food and housing are available on site, and family accommodations can be arranged. Soon, America will return to the skies just as before. Proceeds from the company are being taxed for the use by the U.S. by the government. Take flight, America. MedTech. Hello, folks. This is Mr. New Vegas and a special guest appearance for the Radiant Times. MedTech Labs has officially reopened its doors today and has begun production of a wide range of health and other medical products such as MedTense and Fixer. However, the new flagship products are stim packs, of which patents were awarded to them for sale and distribution, but not exclusive rights after lobbying from several independent organizations. While the true manufacturers of stim packs may have been a company in North Carolina, no one is around to challenge the claim, and by the time of this article, several thousand have already been produced and sent to needy communities on the far reaches of American society. Questions on whether MedTech will produce the various combat drugs and stimulant that are also prevalent in today's society were declined, with a spokesperson stating that MedTech is only interested in producing healthcare products and not trying to make a quick buck. That is the news, and now for my top selection of songs from across the way, so you can feel yourself getting healthier. Proceeds from the company are being taxed by the government. General Atomics, with a fleet of robots and army workers, General Atomics has started work on restoring many of the still dilapidated areas of Dayglow, New Reno, and beyond. Both the President of the United States and the newly commissioned President of General Atomics has expressed great interest in restoring America's great cities, creating thousands of new jobs and providing a positive light for Mr. Handy models of robots. production of which is expected to restart in the coming weeks, with personal units expected to be sold off once construction is finished. A spokesperson or spokeswoman for General Atomics has stated all weapons and combat procedures from civilian models have been removed per safety request by several consumer protection organizations. Building back, we get to tax them. General Atomics schematics, stent security. It's no secret that the gun runner's monopoly has caused concern among several caravan companies, small-time owners, and even some within the Army. With the recapture of Seattle and likewise Stent Security's main headquarters and production facility, the end today by presidential mandate. At a ribbon-cutting ceremony in the former Dark Brotherhood city, Stent Security reopened its doors, manufacturing several ballistic weapons such as the R95, along with post-war models for the wastelanders on a budget. While it takes some time to gain the largest customer base as the gun runners, the fact they lacked a customer base in the Pacific Northwest and are now forbidden from operating there until 2320 gives a restart up and an edge in competition. We get more taxes. Watts Electronics private ownership was the cornerstone of American business pre-war. With the Enclave set up much from the infrastructure and power, heat, cool homes across the waste, has become a drain on the administration, whose efforts are better suited elsewhere. Today, in an official ceremony, the Department of Infrastructure and Public Works hands over control of much of the nation's power supplies to Watts Electronics. While some criticize the privatization of national infrastructure, a Watts spokesperson has said the company will offset costs through production and sales of various energy weapons and other electronic devices that, while scarce today, were common in the 2100s. These include laser rifle, electronic lockpicks, and even radios for the wastelanders to enjoy. Lights are on, America. More taxes. Watts Consumer ArcJet Systems, attempting to recreate the success of Lockheed School out west. The present administration has likely set up a similar school out east with former ArcJet Systems, despite the East Coast being nowhere near as civilized or advanced as the West. There's been a surprising number of applicants with both engineering and electrical knowledge, which has been the creation of the school all that easier. Many have even noted that aircraft engineering is simpler than electronic wiring and construction of settlements in the East, something that even our engineers are having issues with grasping. Why is the settlement system so hard? Proceeds get taxed. And West Tech. Perhaps no other pre-war corporation had an effect in the post-war world like West Tech. While many know them for having created power armor, or which dominated the waste like no other, very few today know that they were also responsible for the Force Evolutionary virus. Thought it was West Tech's products that nearly saw the wasteland dissolve into the Master's twisted version of Unity, and what saved it from the form, and saved it in the form of T-51B suits. While we've effectively managed to bury West Tech's involvement with FEV. We've restarted the company as the largest producer of power armor in America, taking some of the load off our own military production lines and allowing limited sales to civilian users, such as on ships, police force, or even some remote areas of the country. Made in the USA. Ah, yes. Delicious taxes. Do smoke grenades for the suppression bonus. Better rockets. More vehicles. Someone does want me to set up a tank division, which I'm perfectly okay with. We just need to build enough of the wasteland tanks to do so. Scroll. We will construct power grids, power all power grids. And we can send letters to the dredgers, which we will do. And we're also pressuring Lone Tree economically. And we don't have any of these yet for the American Brotherhood. And we don't have control over all of those yet to do them yet. Alright. Oh, and Great Canadian, so we can train them. Let's do some Royal Knights. Royal Commandos, Royal Dragoons, Royal Guard, and Royal Levies.
Excellent.
We have effectively closed this pocket.
Why isn't your video feed working?
Ulysses, you've lost 2 units. No longer getting industrial support.
Enclave here.
This one unit is replacing the one I lost up here.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Economic resurgence. Might be wondering why I'm just building convoys. It's because I don't have the other ones unlocked right now. Please get us through and defeat the Broken Coast.
Enclave here.
My lord, this has been a slugfest up here. What's happening down south? Can't forget we are fighting in the south. We have...
Why isn't your video feed working? Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
Decimated them. And we're decimating them in the south and over here as well. Dogs. Finally. Oh my goodness gracious. We'll take all the Washington Brotherhood. We'll take all of the Portmao. We'll take all the Broken Coast. We'll take all of their navies. We'll submit demands. Perfect. Firm and exit. We're done fighting up here finally. Now, who is it? You're all the Canadian troops. Alright, get rid of you. Levy you guys back. Your units need to come down here to Arabros. And your units as well. The New Farson. And we can do all of these. We'll send couriers to the Hydia Confederation. Install police forces, construct power grids, and power up all the grids we have. Does that say the Washington Brotherhood? Whispers of hope. Despite our current precarious position, there are those who are taking our American dream. This has come about before. We'll take the political power and stability. And America's juggernaut might have a superpower. We have the industrial might, we have the military capacity, and there isn't a foe alive that can withstand the crushing, unrelenting, unstoppable force that is the American army. MacArthur proved that in both the Pacific in World War II and in Korea when he drove the military across seemingly impossible odds to destroy our enemy. First, when he drove the Imperial Japanese military out of the Pacific, and when he drove the Communist Chinese army back across their border, securing victory in Korea. We won't replicate his victory with a nuclear send-off like it happened both times. We can still replicate the drive and force needed to make the army an unforgiving juggernaut, slowly making its way across the wasteland as we bring the light of America back to the eastern shore. Tremble in fear, wasteland. We complete the famous America's hammer. Boink goes the hammer. Need to do that. Need to do that. Weekly war support. That's actually really nice. Someone said to do the Mexico one. I don't think it's an option just yet. Oh yeah, to oppose the Mexican Titans. So, because you release the Baja State. See, that's some bush crap that they can walk back into territories that we have seized.
Enclave here. The fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
More research. Fabrication for those electronic parts. We should wipe out Gento de Souls though. They ain't got nothing on us for this. And then we'll come over here. We're slowly closing that pocket up.
Who the hell is
Take
this?
New Farson.
The president?
Legion rating spotted.
Nice, your video feed
Oh,
working.
my power armor it's going a little faster than everybody else. Fuel injectors. Air defense, close air attack. We're about to split their whole country in half.
Enclave here.
Citizen militias of the Royal Levies. At the Queen's behest, the United States Military Assistance Command Canada has graduated a series of civilian militias based off the Royal Levies that provide the general defense in peacetime for the Crown of New Victoria. In these modern times, their purpose is meant to maintain peace and order within the Dominion, as well as provide for the common defense against raiders, criminals, or whatever horrors the wanders out of the frozen waste. Furthermore, it is planned for the levies to be augmented by local woodsmen and wastelanders who are adept at the local terrain where the regular Royal Army would not tread. The first graduates are the model of what is to be based on for the future Royal Canadian levies. Trained and proficient in weapons in respect of the change in command, and be ready at a moment's notice to defend the Dominion from any threat. They lose 500 manpower. And I guess they get an additional unit. Naval cruise unsuccessful. I believe we got this before in the last episode, so I'll leave it be there. Lone Trees rejoins our society. Sure, I'll pay for that. Power up all those. Construct power grids. Conduct an anti-raider patrol. Oh, and we can return the broken coast. We'll do that. Not going to do any more levies. Do armor. I need to do the research for that. Or not the research, but the focus for that, because it's on our focus tree. So much to do. So much to do, and not enough time to do it.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
South Pass Mine. Perfect.
Yeah.
Pathfinder's Refuge. I think we might be able to just wipe it out.
Enclave here.
Move a little faster than
The president?
I think they were ready for. He hasn't lost any power armor. We're closing down this pocket.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. Yeah.
Let's just shut this pocket down. We defeated Ouroboros. We got Gehennas and Geckos. Perfect. Now we should be just up against the realm of Diana.
Yeah.
Legion Landing Party spotted. We defeated the Arapaho Rollins Confederation.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. This is Enclave Maincom.
And the realm of Diana
Why isn't your video feed working?
will fall very soon. Push you. Push you. That war's about to be done, and Gente de Sol is also about to fall. Yo.
Oh, lovely.
Make way for the Royal Guard. The Queen today oversaw the passing review of the newest line of the Canadian Royal Guard, the baseline formation that makes up the bulk of the Royal Army. Trained and equipped by the United States Military Assistance Command Canada, the Royal Guard continues the traditions of the old Victorian Royal Army. However, unlike the often corrupt and sometimes unreliable patronage system put in place by Queen Victoria VI's grandfather, this system is mirrored off the defunct NCR Army, a more organized and regimental system of mediocrity that saw the NCR become the dominant military in the region through the later half of the 2100s and the most of the 2200s. The Royal Guard's duties will be securing the frontier and fighting in battles to defend the Queen's sovereignty and the right of the Dominion over the Canadian lands and have the whole nation at their back. Pro Patria, Dominion of Canada loses 500 manpower. Let's see. I should be able to do the Farson project now, which we will do. But we'll lose a little bit of legitimacy and lose a little bit of stability. That's fine. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Where am I at?
Enclave here.
Take it. The Victorian Coast, United States Broken Coast Administration and Reconstruction Authority formally handed over the control of the Broken Coast to the representatives of Her Majesty Royal Victorian Government today. The event was given much fanfare in the former headquarters of the USBCARA in North Vancouver, where Graven once ran his rear empire. The Victorian Coast Restoration Society has officially taken over the reins, while the USBCARA is having its efforts focused elsewhere on the continent of the United States. The Royal Army is taking the forefront of this operation, backed by the industrial and agricultural power to ensure readily available food and medicine in the former Raider territory. We give over all of their territory up there. Look at that. Perfect. I think I can also give back some other territories. Send an expedition. Send Dornan to the Free Fighters. And fund the guerrillas. Send a royal designation to the dredgers. We'll click on both of those because I'm not sure which was. And we'll fund the guerrillas. Oh, if they were still around, we could send them flying death claws. That's awesome. Gentle de Sol's downfall. The forces of Gente de Sol have confirmed their retreat from Gente City following fierce fighting. Supposedly, generals spending more time with women and securing their own safety has been attributed as a cause. General Lucimil Vialla has attempted to alleviate this with arming his forces with more weapons and bringing more people in the army, but this likely won't be enough as the Enclave Reconstruction Authority's forces ravage the land. And they fell as well. Take all, take all, take your navy. Thank you. Confirm and exit. Turns out selling guns everywhere to everyone can come back to bite you in the butt. Who knew? See, the Sonoa cartel. You're not a part of Hades Legion. I will, once this war with Diana finishes up, I will officially rebuild all of this military. Like, we'll move all these troops around. Because Diana's about to fall. Right of the Royal Dragoons, the United States Military Assistance Command Canada, and top Royal Army commanders oversaw the pass review of Canada's Royal Dragoons, motorized infantry meant to rapidly deploy in the frozen wastes of the Canadian North. The still forests of Canada once again hear the rumbling of engines as the Royal Dragoons prepare for their push west, backed by the full might of the Royal Victorian Government. Audax et Keller, manpower -500, and establishment of the Royal Commandos, Military Assistance Command Canada Special Operations Group today presented what is known as the Queen's Blades, the Royal Canadian Commandos, trained by scavengers, rangers, and even the best schooling in asymmetric warfare by the United States. These commandos will be launching delicate, high-stake missions against the enemies of the Canadian Crown, as well as assisting regular troops in battles as sharpshooters and scouts similar to the NCR Rangers of the former NCR. After a speech made by the Queen putting the faith of her dominion in them, the commandos were whisked away to parts unknown, beginning a new chapter of the Great Northern War. They lose another 500 manpower, and they get more units. Look at that. Commandos, Royal Levies, Royal Guard. Oh, and they are now defeated. We'll take Paradise from her. That. And we'll take whatever boats you have. Give me your boats. Victorian Union with the Dredger. Mr. President, the Queen has happily informed us that the Dredgers has accepted the Royal Delegation of Union. Extending a hand in union and friendship, the Queen is expected to visit Couvr's capital and grant the title of Provisional Governor to Old Pete as a sign of good faith and eventual prosperity. Canadian forces are beginning to distribute food and conduct security patrols, not requiring U.S. forces for the time being. Amari Uske ad Mer, Dominion of Canada, annexes the Dredgers. Perfect. Has chosen war, Mr. President, the Queen has regularly informed you that not only has blank refused the Royal Delegation of Union, but is threatening violence to the pretender Queen of Canada is to ever turn their sovereign borders, despite the Queen's well wishes, has chosen to face the Royal Army head-on. Per agreement, Canadian forces are beginning combat operations. Our forces are standby, waiting for orders. Commence operations, and they have also chosen war. I'm not sure who chose war, but I understand. Or do I? We will do the Mexican reclamation zone once I have. We'll do the Great Canadian Border Dispute or Debate. Executive orders. There's so much stuff to do. Do those two. To Standing Rock and Glow's Cradle. Glow's Cradle. This is Glow's Cradle. Alright, we'll send it to you. And we can send it to Standing Rock as well. We'll also send it to Strathcombe. What time is it? May? Yeah, we have time if we have to go to war up there. We're about done with the Farson project. Or we started the Farson project. Alright, I need to come through here. Build up all these units.
Who the hell is this? The president?
Let's see, I'll give you 4 to him. Taking away the Steel Legion. I'll pop the Steel Legion in with him for the time being. All of your troops can go back. Sorry I had to use them on such short notice.
This is Enclave Maincom.
We'll leave you here in the south, along with Ulysses and Boone.
This is
You'll
Enclave
fall back
Maincom.
under him.
This
See,
is
in the
Enclave
south,
Maincom. This is Enclave Maincom.
I get that. We'll do here. I want
That's a no one.
Ulysses to split half of his forces off. Put them here. I will give you 2 more auxiliary units. Don't need to do those. Add 2 more. And so you're the only one that lost any, right? Yeah. I'll give you inspiration or awareness for the reconnaissance bonus. I see that I have military factories and dockyards. I am not avoiding it. I guess I am avoiding it. Unite the Tri-Cities. Tri-Cities is renamed as Tri-Cities. Yeah, we can do that. We have a Tri-Cities here in Tennessee. Alright, let's see. Good there, good there. Need to save up political power, mostly. And... tax break for factories, no. Grain solicitations, state-funded radio. Yeah, we'll do that. I still got 49,000. Perfect. So this will be this army down here.
Enclave here.
You will be pushing... oh, I didn't see here.
Enclave here.
Let's take the other half.
This is Enclave Maincom.
I think it was 9, right?
This is Enclave Maincom.
I'll put U9 here. U9 up north. You in the center. A new nightly order. The streets of New Victoria were awash with bell tolls and patriotic music as the Royal Sovereign of New Victoria herself knighted the graduates from the United States Military Assistance Command. These knights are mirrored slightly off the pseudo knightly organization that roamed the former United States. However, where those knights often were self-serving, these have the weight of the Victorian domain of Canada on their power-armored shoulders as they march east. The day ended as the newly minted knights marched through the streets of New Victoria to awaiting ships to be transported to the mainland for combat operations against those who would face off against the Queen and her dominion. Nama Regina, manpower negative 500. All right, so you all, your goals would be to push into Phoenix's area. So along this river here, 3 roads, and then south like this. So this is U.S. Southern Command.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Let's see, you all. I'm going to leave independent for right now, just in case we get attacked. Because again, we will hold off. Truce lasts till the 3rd of January, 2083. So we've got a slight bit of time before anything is going to occur. So we'll just take a deep breath. Allow stuff to progress. I have 100 more factories that I can't build anything with because, of course, I have too much stuff already being produced. I don't have enough stuff to produce them. So let's add 20 factories onto everything. I hope not to be bothered again with factories not being produced. We can actually increase you all the way. There we go. All right. Really, we need to focus on plasma weapons as well. These are being built. I don't want light canoe hulls, to be 100% honest with you. More of those. Our Navy. Select all. Select all. You actually have kills. Oh, you sunk some NCR boats. A lot of NCR boats. And then this one is all light ships, except for you. Heavy ship. Move this one heavy ship over here. Form you into a massive fleet. Does that say heavy? Take your heavy ships. Move them here. Split you. I don't think I care about these canoes. So we'll just throw them to you. Take you all. Merge. Split. Throw all of you into these four. You all will go under... I thought we got a Enclave Admiral. Maybe I'll wait, because I need to do the Coast Guard thing anyway. You all will be on Strike Force. Here, here. Along the rivers. Along these rivers. You need to be on patrol. Patrol, 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 and patrol. Perfect. Any questions? I hope not. I ain't gonna answer them no how.
Who the hell is this? The president?
Oh yeah, your command is going that way. It just can't be done. Well, why not? That's been the byword for the debate raging among diplomats since we've taken to restoring Canada and the subject of the border. It appears the power that have made it nigh impossible to set the border of a straight line, and unlike Mexico, that has caused a diplomatic row. Suffice to say, those who are shedding tears over a nice, clean, straight line will have to live with the fact that the situation at hand does not allow for it anymore, nor will be wasting time trying to come to the conclusion. The State Department is preparing a flagship team of their best diplomats and their ace in the hole, Arcade Gannon. All right, let me hear them. The northern border. With the annexation of Canada in the past, the pre-war government went to a great effort to erase the border or mention of the borders from records. Even our own records are incomplete, as our predecessors firmly believed Canada was a sovereign American territory. We have some mentions of a 49th parallel, but what that meant is lost to us. To settle this, the State Department has sent their best to New Victoria to hash things out. Leading the American mission of his course, Arcade Gannon, his interest in building better relations with our northern dominion, has been working with their diplomats to set about creating a fair border that advances both our interests. The Canadians have sent a team of cartographers from the Royal Survey Office led by the Queen's own son, Prince Edward. Thankfully, Gannon was able to strike up a rapport with the prince. Hopefully, that's all they've struck up. Together, they've used caravan maps and some old Arizona maps from the pre-war area to determine the layout of the border. However, more than a few has accused them of being too generous to Canada, while others are commenting that the border looks ugly. The last party have been told to deal with it. Our diplomats will get back to us in a few days, and the Washington-Vancouver Accords, and I trust Gannon to get the job done. Comes back to bite me. Bankrupted merchant houses is done. This is all impassable terrain, right? And we do share a border here. And we share a border here. So,
Enclave here.
armies. Put one here.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Put yours here.
Who the hell is this? The president?
That's going to be crazy to fight through. I'd say we just push hard from the south here and just let them do whatever they want in the north. You here.
Enclave here.
The rest here. And we're going to aim for their capital in the north. Of course, what we could do is put our power armor right here.
Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave.
Control. Split you in half. Control.
Enclave here.
I want all your power armor to push here. You got to think, if none of this territory is cored, and we take up here, then we're set. And if we lose this little bit of area here, hey, you ain't gonna cry about spilt milk. I do need to give you 7 more robot divisions. So as I'm sitting here thinking about it, where is it? Oh, the Mariposa Corps. Are you guys the ones with Frank Corrigan's armor? Do I need to put that in? Scribes. Scribes are very useful. Build a couple of you. You most definitely will not be an armor regiment, though. You can be... could be an auxiliary regiment. 20 of you. Oh, I forgot. It's doing light robots. See? Told myself. 7 of you. Yeah. Power armor. Gonna add in maintenance. Gotta add in slanter companies for the reconnaissance. Maybe mobile logistics. Maybe more breakthrough dogs, maybe. The Farson Project. The Mole Miners of Farson. Mole Miners society is simple, communal, and tribalistic. They're also openly hostile to anyone who is not them. Maybe it's the bond they share with the old Enclave that drove them to not attack the soldiers in sight. Maybe it's the fact 200 years of killing everyone and getting nothing in return taught them a lesson or two. Using local translator who somehow speak their language, the American envoy was able to at least get them to conduct trade with their resources for food with us. Turns out a lot of them want more than just cave fungus. Interesting to note, the next day when our envoy and team arrived, there was a massive pile of bodies outside their primary mine, and the mole miners were far more eager to conduct business with us. We're just going to pretend that we didn't know what that was about. Adds Farson Mining Corps, which grants local resources plus 15%. Very nice. Testing results. Work began in earnest in one of the abandoned vaults of California. Within the sealed atrium, the modified FEV strand was released onto chambers containing rad roaches, feral dogs, feral ghouls, and bloat flies. The strain was to target bloat flies with the ghouls standing as human surrogates. The modified FEV had no effect on the dog, rad roaches, or ghouls, while with the boat flies dying off rather quickly. Continued tests proved the same result to elated scientists, proving that FEV can be used to clear out some of the worst creatures of the post-war world. More testing is underway, of course, ensuring the virus doesn't mutate, as well as tuning it to target other creatures or lead to something entirely that we have no hope of combating. While nowhere near ready for release as such, it represents a major breakthrough in the FEV future. Well, some good did come of it. Yes, yeah, I guess. Let's see, we did Mexico, Kit New Warriors. Don't want that. Let's start building, rebuilding the Pacific Northwest. I know we still have some focuses to do for rebuilding the United States and reincorporating the United States. Oh, wait. No, we're not going to do that one. I apologize completely. We need to do United We Stand, the Great American Melting Pot. That's what we were aiming for anyway. And if you guys are worried that this series will end soon, I think we still got about like 4 or 5 more videos. We got to defeat Legion of Hades, the Eastern Legion, Republic of Mexico, all of these territories down here, and what little left we have up here. It's not much to go on still, but naval patrol unsuccessful. That's not good. I mean, we are getting close to the end, but we're not at the end yet. Oh, there's a lot to go down here. Let's see, construction-wise, by the way, we're back to being over, so we have lost a lot of intellectual, so sorry, we were saving that political power. All right, save political power, save political power, save political power. I want to do the Baja Blues. Defending southern Portland, Fort Withcombe Withicombe was a former Oregon National Guard base that was expanded upon in the communist invasion that never came. Regardless, the base was used as a training site for the Oregon National Guard and for new recruits who were to be shipped off to China. Post-war, it was used by the cause to defend against the cannibals and super mutants of southern Oregon, allowing them to devote more energy to fighting off the Washington Brotherhood in the north. Now back in our hands, we can use it both as a way to watch over Portland and monitor caravan traffic heading north to Seattle. How do you even pronounce that? See, I'm not the only one that struggles with it. It gives a boost to Army Organization and Special Forces cap. Outpost Cause, located north of Vancouver, Washington. Fort Bonneville was on the way out, with a planned decommission in the former land of it being planned to be handed over to the Bonneville Forest Service, which had plans to transform it to former shooting ranges and training grounds into Bonneville State Forest, with the old Army base as a tourist spot to explore. That was until the Sino-American War, when the base was saved from decommissioning, instead being recommissioned as a coastal defense base to defend the lower Columbia River at the mouth of Portland, Oregon. It would serve this position at the end of the Great War, when Vancouver, Washington was targeted on the onset, the installation being hit by several stray nukes of the nuclear onslaught, destroying many of its buildings and rendered many more heavily damaged as a result of the shockwaves of the nukes dropped on Portland and Vancouver. In the aftermath of the Great War, Bonneville would come under the occupation of the cause. The remaining facilities were used by the wayward Brotherhood scribes in an attempt to aid those of Washington and rebel against the Immortal and his vicious onslaught on those of Washington State. With the cause long gone from Bonneville and the Immortal removed, we have restored Fort Bonneville back to active service for the purpose of defending the mouth of the lower Columbia River against pirates and other troublemakers of the post-war era. Weird name, weirder place, gives a boost to Army Organization and Special Forces cap. Perfect. I think I had already sent a delegation to him. There's so much to scroll through over here. Yeah, so 47 days. We got a little bit still. The Washington-Vancouver Accords. Granite and Queen Victoria VI signed the Washington-Vancouver Accords today, laying to rest the growing diplomatic row over the border between the Enclave Reconstruction Authority and the Canadian Dominion. Queen Victoria VI gave a speech shortly after, thanking the Enclave Reconstruction Authority for their cooperation in providing the best for Canada's future, particularly the actions of Arcade Gannon and Prince Edward, who was the primary architects behind the Accords. Granite, when asked about the criticism of the border not following pre-war lines, was dismissive and said that there were more important things to deal with in the post-war world than where a line was on a map. He refused to hear any other further questions on the shape of the border, instead focused on continuing American and Canadian cooperation in the future. So they gain 185 territories. I think I have to click on return territory. Yeah. Drawing the border, looking through old world maps, aligning with the new world caravan routes, and double checking with air flyovers, we managed to redraw the borders between America and Canada. Already members of Her Majesty's government are targeting their territory, and agents from the U.S. government are set up posts to ensure safe crossing for caravans and prospectors. There continues to be some discontent with the result of the borders, however. They gained 21 territories. Yeah, they took a little bit more. Vancouver was part of the U.S., so that, and then it follows straight on. But then we got Oswego, so it's not going to be perfect, but I don't necessarily care either. Though that did kind of hurt us in this war. We'll see. See what happens with old world extraction. I think you have to send royal delegations to them. Oh, for Mexico, though. We can send Dornan. Somehow, as a way to make no sense to us, Western Mexico is home to a resistance force known as the Free Fighters, devoted to protecting Mexico from tyranny and oppression. Lore has their few fond memories of our occupying army, who they call cucarachas. We need to send someone to show the Free Fighters that we were reformed. We need to send someone to show them we were powerful. We will send them Sergeant Dornan. Or the Baja Blues. We could support the opponents of Santa Anna by providing them with a normally independent territory from which to harass the general better than us. We'll do that. Baja Blues, Mexico to necessity. Join the Mexico Reclamation Movement. Baja Blues. The Baja Peninsula was spared the worst of the Enclave's conquest, with the little value and occupied as the NCR was already collapsed in the Enclave's liberation past the sleepy towns and villages. By Ranger Riley Skip Almarin was of such little note that the Enclave only sent a request that he surrender for processing by a courier. Needless to say, they had declined. Until Almarin was even more surprised to get a request from the president to oversee the Mexican Reclamation Zone, designed to support those fleeing Santa Anna's conquest. But really, who else was going to do it? They become the ruling party. Ranger Skip joins the Baja State and will be known as the Mexican Reclamation Zone. So there you go. We got the Mexico Reclamation Zone Enclave Administration. They'll go down the same one that Canada is going down. I don't. Economic aid to the Reclamation Zone. Okay, so we just click that whenever we take more territory with Canada. Form the Pan-American Alliance. Someone wanted me to do that, and we will. But we were out of political power because me, like a big dummy, just started clicking buttons. And guess what? Can't just click buttons because then you run out of political power. And we only gain 2 per day. Yeah, that's it. Just 2. Hopefully when we get United We Stand, we'll get a lot more. In non-combat support. Perfect. Well, let me promote this node. Legion raided party spotted. That's become so common, who cares? No, I care. It has become very, very prominent, though. Urban plasma weapons, it'll take way too long. Can't do any of this because it's locked behind researches that I haven't gotten to yet. I know. There's just so much with this mod. Once you start steamrolling and you take over the NCR, you are just on a roll. And it's hard to do a lot of the mod when there's so much to do. Out from Larson, located north of Moses Lake, Washington, Larson Air Force Base was one of the 3 Air Force bases in Washington State under an Air Material Command, Air Mobility Command, Aerospace Defense Command, Continental Air Command, Air Combat Command, and Strategic Air Command. Larson was considered by the Air Force as an all-purpose Air Force base, although it was primarily used by Air Mobility Command, Aerospace Defense Command, and Strategic Air Command. Air Mobility Command utilized the installation as a means to refuel from the air any planes coming or going to and from the West Coast, while Aerospace Defense Command used the installation as a means to conduct patrols over the Northwest Commonwealth. Lastly, of the purpose or primary uses, Strategic Air Command had a long history of using the installation as a long-time strategic bombers base to counter China and any other threats. Larson was even under consideration for having a series of silo fields built for Minutemen Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles, or ICBMs, to cow China and to surrender in early October of 2077. Plans that would be ended with the onslaught of the Great War. Due to the being extremely used by the Air Force to conduct missions against China in the Pacific and Alaska, Larson would ultimately be targeted when the bombs fell. The installation being hit several times by direct nuclear strikes from Chinese nukes, leaving the base severely damaged in the aftermath. In the post-war era, Larson would come under the control of the Old Country, which was a nation of ghouls from Vault 100. The ghoulified Vault dwellers used Larson's as a means to fly biplanes and rotary aircraft left at arson over the former state of Washington, even using them to conduct logistic missions at behest of their leader. With the ghouls removed from the Air Force Base, we have restored Larson Air Force Base back to active duty, once more allowing the Air Force to fly over Washington for the first time in nearly 300 years. Yes, I think we're good on nuclear bases, thank you. Gain boosts of H generation and air attack. Yes, I also agree with that. So luckily, Enclave's interim administration war on drugs, not content with running the Mexican Reclamation Zone, Enclave interim administration began conducting raids across the Sea of California into cartel lands. That'd be fine, or at least not bad, if it wasn't for the fact that these raids were crippling some of the armies that stand between Santa Ana and America. What we do about the meddlesome amigo? This is the world's smallest pit boy playing the world's saddest song. That is funny. Make him stop, or Mexico will appreciate this, even if Lynette does not. Send some vertebrates to assist. Yeah, I don't care about who is it? These two, well, Sonola and is it the Viceroy? I don't even see the other one. Am I blind? Beltra? Belcherani? Nope, it's definitely not that one. Uh, Mexico will appreciate. Yeah, well, I don't care about the war on. I don't care about weakening the Sonolas. So El Vaquero, for some reason, the fate of the Mexican Reclamation Zone has attracted interest from across the waste. A ghoul from New Vegas has come down Mexico's way and offered his services. The old gunslinger apparently fought against bandits in Arizona and Mexico in the past, and offers his service for the people of Mexico in their fight against Santa Ana. Time was, he was a pretty good shot with a pistol. And return of Admiral Kincaid. Maybe this is what I was trying to think of. To our great surprise, a flotilla of Aslan survivors have washed up on our shores. They have 2 leaders, Admiral Kincaid and a prominent member of the Jaguar Knights, Oxlitol. Is Somehow the two of them have steered their flight from Santa Anna's clutches and have seen a safe harbor and a base to face Santa Anna. Asatol had threatened to leave our lands if we do not support him, but there are those who think Kincaid's efforts to say that Atslani civilians made him a better model for the resistance. However, Lynette and others in the United States argue we cannot accept any refugees, let alone crazed soldiers from Mexico. What should we do? Welcome Kincaid. Oslet soldiers, or we don't need these refugees. Brings nothing but the fires of resistance. Gain base support -5%, and he joins the Enclave. Him, or we get load order of battle file. The Jaguar Knight refugees. I kind of want to see what the Jaguar Knights are about, though I don't mind the. I'd be kind of mad if I chose this and I didn't get something cool. I wish I remembered who Admiral Kincaid was. You know what? I don't want to say save it and lose it, so don't know if I save this, if this will pop back up. Oh yeah, if I minimize it, that should be in my decisions when we load back in. So I'm going to leave that one up to you. Return of Admiral Kincaid. Either we get Admiral Kincaid or we take the Jaguar Warriors. Up to you guys. That'll be for the next episode. We're going to finish up the Great American Melting Pot, and then we will end episode 13. So the Great American Melting Pot, it's flawed, often chafes under its own weight, and has a history of problems and probability will or probable will for some time, but for the first time in Earth's history, 5 separate species are living under one nation with equal protection and most of the time working together for the common goal. A human barters with a ghoul while slanter children play together with wasteland children in the street. Mole miners pull out ore to supply construction projects manned by super mutants. At the helm of it all, the president sits before the stars and stripes, hoping to have directed the United States to live up to its old credo, having removed the genocidal old ways of the purists and look forward to the 2030s with a renewed sense of purpose. All are created equal. Adds United Evermore, which grants trade tariffs plus 2%, or nah, wait, what? You can see event. What in the damn why? And then uncompletes all of that. No, we'll just do all is created equal. That'd be really funny if you did that. I'm not going to, because that's just a huge waste of time. But it's funny that they've added that in, is what I should say. It's not funny to do it. It's just funny that they were like, yeah, if you want to do it, do it. But yeah, so for you guys in the comments, you guys can choose what we're going to be doing. I'm completely fine with either way if we take Admiral Kincaid or the Jaguar Warriors. But like I said, up to you guys. But with that, I'm going to end the episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.